Today's the day, the hot rod wagon. It's gonna get some lights on it. Doggy's excited for it. The other day I was digging through my box of miscellaneous scooter parts and I came across the original turn signals off the Honda Metro, and I think they would fit perfect on this thing. And just in case if I'm walking around at night with the kiddo, you know, a little illumination ain't gonna hurt nothing. So let's see if we can get these on. First thing I'm gonna need to do is track down some longer bolts, because it's just not enough engagement. The sawdust on it, but these are like $5 or $10 at Harbor Freight. Has helped me out so much. Look at that. For some reason always has the right thread in this. But yeah, gonna put a couple lights on, maybe on the front too. Looking at it, looks like it has the incandescent bulbs. I think in the old toolbox, I think I got some LEDs, so if I do, that's what it's getting. Now that we got the mounting part figured out, I guess it's time to drill a couple of holes and we start wiring this up. So figured I'm gonna be mounting them a little bit inboard just so they don't get broken, because I always stand it up in the shed when we're not using it. Recommend getting an auto center punch, but any punch will work, and you probably really don't even need one. To get it the same size or the same distance on both sides, use something as a guide. Just gonna run this run this broken air filter to the edge, and the other edge in the center. It's gonna be where we're mounting it. Not sure how well this shows up on the camera, but a little trick that I do, you know, after you drill some metal, you always get these little burrs and stuff. I get a step bit, and you don't want to make the hole any bigger, but you just want to run it just enough to get these burrs off. That gives you a nice, you know, nice hole. Now I just gotta drill another hole to get these wires through the frame, because obviously you don't want to tighten it down. It'll pinch these, and then you'll have all sorts of problems. So that's one side done as far as mounting goes. Another nice thing about using just old stock ones is they're meant to flex. So if someone steps on it, or if it gets, you know, hit or anything, it's not gonna really break, or hopefully it's not gonna break. We'll see. But yeah, get it real close. But yeah, time to do the other side. Hopefully this was the hard part. Got them both mounted. Now it's time to wire them up. I think I'm just gonna run one positive and one negative down the frame, and then just kind of tee off to them. But let's see how it goes. Went ahead and stood her up just to make it a little bit easier to run the wire, and I think I'm just gonna tuck it. Hopefully I can tuck it just in between the frame rails and the body, which I am glad I did stand it up. I'm missing a nut and a washer. Always make sure to use Loctite, fellas. I was gonna use these and, you know, string off a little bit extra, chuck them in the drill and spiral them up real nice, but I just remembered I did that before and I had way too much extra, so I'm gonna use this old junk that I didn't throw out. Before I tuck it behind the frame, I'm gonna cut it shorter Just get a rough length. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna mount the battery, but I am gonna put some of this Chinese finger trap stuff over the harness. Makes it look nicer and it's a little added protection. Here's a little tip on how to get rid of all these frays on the wire loom. So you kind of get them all to the side. Snip them all off, being careful, you know, not to cut the wire, obviously. Get them as short as you can. Of course, there's one long one. Trim that. So once you do that, I get a lighter. Melt them a little bit, and you can kind of push them down. And this normally stops them from fraying even more. And it doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. Well, I mean, it's up to you. It could be as pretty as you want to make it. Normally I just put some shrink wrap over top and you can't tell. But doing this also makes the shrink wrap, what am I talking about? Heat shrink. This normally makes the heat shrink a little bit easier to get on. Hopefully the dollar store or something will have a little cheap, you know, plastic, metal, it really don't matter. Tried that dollar toolbox, but it's a little too fragile. So I'll be back. All right, so I'm back from the dollar store, $1.25. I think that's gonna work out pretty well. And as far as the switches go, just make these holes a little bit bigger. I'll just poke them out through there. Have the wire go through the back. Be good to go. Fit some extra wire. Have the fuse in there, and I'll just find a way to attach it. Probably a zip tie or something like that. Maybe a bungee cord, but we'll see. And there's still plenty of leg room. So close. One more. Is this way too big? No, looky there. I also bought these clearance lights. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm amber toggle, light up the amber one and put a red one for the red one, you know, just for more lights and stuff. And you know, it is for a toddler, and toddlers love some lights. So these are pretty easy. All you gotta do is drill a hole that's big enough. I already did some testing on that one. And with these, they have to go on a trailer or the side of a truck or something. The only thing that holds them in is this little gasket. So all you do, get the gasket in, and then carefully put the light in without pulling the gasket through. Hopefully my arm isn't blocking the view. Try getting it somewhat right. Yeah, looky there. Now really the only thing left is to mount the box. I think I'm gonna use the bolts that actually hold the wagon to the frame, or the wagon body to the frame. So I just sandwich this in between it, put the battery in it, and get all this stuff wired up. I really don't know what I'm doing, so hopefully it works. almost done. I got most of it wired up. Just gonna finish this last little bit. Normally black is the negative, but I put a little red end on it, so hopefully we don't have any disasters. But even if we do, it'll have fuse, so. Get everything wired up, got the LEDs working. Come to find out, the positive on these LEDs is actually black, but got them working. Got the tail swapped out to a red light instead of the white. But yeah, should be ready to go some car shows pretty soon. Thanks for watching. Goof.